A proud supporter of this program, Riverbend Food Bank's vision is a hunger-free Iowa and Illinois.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory has been serving Quad City families since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.
A vision for Moline, what potential, investment, and creativity could mean for the heart of the city. And setting a record, could this be the year we float to the top in the cities? For most of this spring and part of this summer, we've been told to avoid the Mississippi River. Now, a call to hit the waters, to defend the pride of the cities. That's just ahead. But first, a new era. Moline is in the midst of big changes in its downtown. Part of that is thanks to the demolition of tons of concrete from the old Interstate 74 bridge. When the old bridge comes down, new possibilities will rise up. And joining us is the president and CEO of Renew Moline, Alexandra Elias. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's all you see is potential right now for downtown. Is that not so?
That's true. It's a very large area, very big potential.
Now, as you said, it's a big area and a big potential. And so are you looking for big thoughts, or is it that you can keep it simple?
I think it's a mix. So right now, if you go there, you can see pieces of the bridge that are constructed. The new bridge is lower and it's wider than our existing I-74 bridge. So we're both looking for a grand vision that we can all rally behind, but then also asking ourselves the questions about what is the pedestrian experience like? What is it like at grade? And what are the opportunities to make it beautiful and interesting and walkable?
And I want to get back to that, but one of the things is that you have brought in outside eyes. The Urban Land Institute made an initial visit already. What are you hoping to gain from their eyesight, from their views, being people who have developed other areas but haven't really seen this area before?
So I guess I would start with the Urban Land Institute is primarily an educational forum. So it was established in 1936. It has 40,000 members worldwide. And those members are interested primarily in development excellence. So the civic leadership, urban design standards, and those types of things. I think we are looking to them to both provide insight into the opportunities that we have here. Maybe if you're here every day, you don't necessarily see those. But then also to get the word out about the opportunities that are available here. We feel very excited about our future, and I think we really look to ULI to be able to help us capitalize on that.
Well, and two of their initial viewpoints, and mind you, this is without any study that they pointed out, is empty storefronts and a whole lot of concrete downtown. Let's start with the whole lot of concrete, because you were talking about a pedestrian area, more of a park-like setting for some areas. I mean, is that a major thing? Is that some of these parking lots that were very useful at one time may not be that useful anymore?
Yes, and I think that is a struggle that many, many downtowns have had, and one that, you know, the Urban Land Institute, ULI, works with other communities to solve. So I think
Which always seems odd to me, because whenever you talk to a downtown business or something, there's never enough parking, or whenever you think of a downtown area, they're all going, oh, there's not enough parking.
There is always a tension between attracting development downtown and providing enough parking that people feel like they want to come. So I think that balance will always be an issue, and it's always going to be up to us creatively to work on those. But I think ultimately, if we can create a downtown where people can arrive once and walk around to amenities within the downtown, we're doing a good thing for development and for our economy.
And is it getting close to that? I mean, because we've seen, when you think of Fifth Avenue, when you think of some of the areas that have really been revitalized in the heart of Moline, you can kind of witness a little bit of that occurring.
Yes, and I think the feedback we've initially gotten from the Urban Land Institute is that we have very good bones. So other communities that have struggled with more vacant property, we have the tax layer. We have really the legacy and the foundation that the John Deere company provides to us that we've been able to build on as well. So I think you're seeing bits of those, bits of the vision come into fruition, and then there's certainly a lot of infill that can happen within that vision, both literally and figuratively. But
as you said, we were talking about the other component being the empty storefronts. And downtown Moline, which used to have the home of Sears and a Penny's and a Montgomery Ward's just up the hill, that you're not going to see anymore. What do you hope to see as far as the storefronts are concerned, and is shopping a major component?
Well, I think we've seen in in the universe of development, I think we've seen a couple of iterations of retail shopping and how people retail shop. So we have an old JCPenney's downtown. We have an old Ward's building downtown. And that's the way people used to shop. We went through an iteration of malls, and now that's coming to an end. And so now we're in this new world of more boutique, more independent, more large-scale Amazon online shopping. And so I think there's going to be a place for those storefronts in that viewpoint in terms of providing that independent boutique experience that we do see coming back and that we can continue to capitalize on.
Because let's be honest, the last 30, 20, 25 years, the big input that's revitalizing downtowns appears to be residential. People want to live downtown, and I believe at least 2 years ago, I remember the mayor telling me that it's almost 100% occupancy in downtown Moline.
Yes, we do enjoy very high occupancy, and so we have some new units coming online, 6th Avenue townhomes that are currently under construction. That's 22 units of market rate for rent.
And an expansion of that already even before these are finished, right? I mean, there's talk about that being perhaps bigger than it is right now.
My understanding is they're looking at phase 2 already. So I think that's a very good sign. I think we'll be very interested to see in how quickly those fill up. The 5 and 15 apartments, another historic renovation, I heard yesterday, is 98% full, which is just fantastic news for downtown. And I think to the extent that we have people living and working or living and being downtown, that we want to make sure that we're continuing to keep the momentum up and grow those opportunities for those folks.
Some people would have looked at the old I-74 bridge, and mind you, I know it's not gone, but I mean, that I-74 bridge was almost a scar through Moline, the heart of Moline. It certainly separated one side of downtown with another side of downtown. Well, it's being replaced by another bridge. Does that mean the scar isn't totally going away, or is there a way that you can capitalize on that bridge, even though the other one kind of didn't really help you develop in that area?
Well, it's changing. So the mark that you described, the scar, is going to be different, and I think the differences create some opportunities. So as an example, historic 5th Avenue currently goes all the way through. That will now terminate, if you will, in an off-ramp. So that'll be a new opportunity to create public art, to create a pocket park, to have some experience that isn't currently there. We are also thinking of many different ways to make sure that that connection east-west is not lost. Certainly Western Illinois University, the IH Mississippi Valley Credit Union, and those people that work there, we want them to feel connected and a part of downtown because they are downtown.
Yeah, and that's going to be a major player that brings, I mean, you're always looking for residential so that you have the foot traffic, but yeah, you're absolutely right. By bringing these professionals in, well-paid professionals, that should be helpful as well.
Yes.
Let me ask you another question in regards to the off-ramp, as you did mention. The bridge should be completed at about the same time people believe there could be passenger rail. It's almost like it's going to be a dance party where everyone's coming together at one time, perhaps around 2021, 2022. How critically important do you think that rail spur right into the passenger rail spur right into downtown Moline is going to have a huge impact?
I think it's just, I think philosophically it's a huge opportunity, but I think it will be really exciting to see how people, what that creates in terms of being iconic, unique, a magnet. And so we're just super excited about that and really pulling as much as we can to help the Chamber and others that are working on that project to bring it to fruition.
Do you have a vision 10 years, 20 years from now of what downtown Moline's going to be like?
It's funny, I don't necessarily have a specific vision that I could articulate to you, but when I'm asked to describe it, I describe it as the place in America where every 25 to 35-year-old wants to live, work, and play, and visit. So, and that vision, whatever that is, because I'm not in that age cohort, I think we want to outreach a lot and work closely with the people that are in that age cohort and understand what they look for in a living environment. We know that millennials go to a place that they like first and then look for a job later. So what can we do to really create an exciting place that they want to live in?
Well, and as you well know, I mean, it's a capitalist society where the money goes kind of determines what's going to happen downtown. You can make certain plans, but who would have thought Fifth Avenue would have turned out as nicely as it has so far? Who would have thought of the success of the Pavilion when it was built 20, 25 years ago? It's almost like if you build it and they like it, they will come. Not necessarily if you plan it. The key thing, though, that you, I think, are articulating is that you have to carefully plan where the chess pieces go.
Yes, and then I think that what generally happens is that people do come and they do enjoy and they do love, and they forget that at the time they were neutral on it or in opposition to it. But we have so many amenities downtown that are significant amenities that really create a wonderful quality of life. And to the extent that, as again, we can continue to grow those, I think we'll be better off.
I want to talk about another part that's kind of dovetails into this whole thing, and that is the public art, as you mentioned, for downtown Moline. Tell me about what you're doing right now, because you're almost taking an assessment of what we have right now as far as art downtown, and how to improve upon it, or how to really underline that it's there.
Yeah, so last fall we were looking at the different amenities that are already here, and one of those was public art. And so many times what a community will do is a city council, similar to a community plan or a development master plan or a streetscape manual, a city will adopt what's called a public art master plan. And the idea for that is to really provide ideas to the artisan community. It's also to create corridors where people can experience public art, and it's also to funnel and channel investment into art in those locations. So really, when you're downtown Moline, part of your memorable experience of being downtown Moline comes from seeing public art in the form of murals, in the form of sculpture. There are many other ways, even performance art to some extent. The Quad Cities is special to me because it has a lot of theater, a lot of very small theaters here, and I think that is different for a community. So those types of things that are art and art related, we really want to bring out in the public realm and then create that as an amenity for the people that are here.
I think it's interesting that one of the people that is going to help you at least steer somewhat from the Urban Land Institute is a former mayor of Pittsburgh. And tell me about the artwork that they do. I mean, they have a series of fountains that really have drawn people to their downtown in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Pittsburgh's specific public art program, but I can tell you that many communities, large and small, do invest in art, and they make that really a component of their experience in their city. We do have pieces of that already. The Bass Street Landing fountain is a good example. And I think anytime you're at a Bass Street Landing concert, you can see that and see people enjoying it. Yeah. And I think building on that is important.
Well, and the other thing that you're building upon is, if you think about 30, 40, 50 years ago, the Quad Cities really each of the cities turned its back on the Mississippi River. Now it's anything but. You're embracing it as much as you can. And this plan for the development of downtown will not ignore the river in any way, will it?
It will not ignore the river. And I think many times it is our greatest asset. Some days it's also our greatest challenge. So I think learning to live with the river is something as a community that we're all learning how to do.
And it's a huge draw, isn't it?
It is a huge draw.
To this day, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And let's be honest, that's one of the assets that so many communities do not have.
Right. And I think it's a draw in different ways. So it's a draw from a recreational standpoint, it's a draw from a natural standpoint, it's a draw from just a visual standpoint and enjoying that beautiful waterfront. I spent many years in San Diego, as you may know, and the connections to the river, functional, visual, and otherwise, was something that we dealt with in San Diego, and it's the same thing here. People want to be close to the river, they want to be close to water.
Alexandria Elias, the CEO and President of Renew Moline, thanks so much for joining us and letting us know a little bit about what the plans are for the downtown area. We appreciate it. And still to come, the big float. Why anyone with a canoe or kayak could be part of history. That's just ahead. But first, let's check in with Laura Adams, who has some great ideas for you and your friends if you do go out and about.
This is Out and About for August 5th through 11th. Tugfest, a one-of-a-kind event on the banks of the Mississippi River that pits Illinois against Iowa in a tug-of-war, is back. It's on August 8th through the 10th with an extraordinarily grand Friday night fireworks display. Or check out baseball at Modern Woodman Park. There's still free admission to the Figge Art Museum through August 11th, while free summer concerts continue in East Moline at their Main Street Summer Concert Series in Runners Park on the 11th. Live at 5 at the River Music Experience features the Beaker Brothers August 9th, and the Summer Concert Series at Faze Field in Bettendorf features Class of '82 on the 8th. Niabi Zoo premieres the film Orangutan Jungle School August 8th at 7, while their World Lion Day kicks off August 10th starting at 10 a.m. Circa 21 presents the Best of the Bootleggers, the Singing Dancing Servers, every Thursday in August, while Sheer Madness, the longest-running interactive comedy, continues on the main stage. Next door at the Speakeasy, hear Manny Lopez and his big band. The Tony Award-winning Matilda the Musical closes its run at the Spotlight Theater on the 11th. Quad City Music Guild presents Sister Act, the feel-good musical comedy, through the 17th, and Stephen Sondheim's musical Assassins opens at the Black Box Theater in downtown Moline on August 8th. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. We love the chance to introduce to you all types of music created by local artists around the cities. The drummer who goes by the name Dead Ginger has been creating music he says identifies with his inner soul. He joined us at the stage of the Black Box Theater in Moline. So here's Dead Ginger with Clarity to Chaos. That's Dead Ginger with Clarity to Chaos, performing at the Black Box Theater in Moline. The Mississippi River is back at its banks, the current much slower than in the midst of the flood, and River Action wants you to return to the water in a big way. Floatzilla is returning to the cities. And joining us is Noah Truesdell with the River Action, an organizer for this year's Floatzilla, now marking 10 years, which kind of blows my mind. 10 years of this.
Yeah, we've been at it for a long time, still chasing that record.
And let's talk about that in a second, but what really is the point of Floatzilla? Because for River Action, you think of the river not just as a beautiful thing that you stand on the shore and look at. This is something to be actively involved with.
Yeah, well, yeah, we want people to engage with the river and recreate along the river. We do that with our Ride the River and Floatzilla events. This gives people an opportunity where we close the river to commercial barge traffic, and so people that might be a little intimidated about being out on a normal day can come out and paddle the river during Floatzilla.
So what are you looking for? What's canoeists and kayakers and?
Yeah, canoeists and kayakers. We do have some people do stand-up paddle boards, but they can't go through the lock and dam, and they don't count towards our record.
I see. Okay, so let's talk about the record. Of course, there's a community called Inlet New York, which in 2014 had the largest raft of canoes and kayaks. So 3150 vessels is what you're looking for.
Yeah. So when we first started, the record was a lot lower, and then.
Funny how that happened.
Right as Floatzilla was approaching that and taking over,
they moved the bar.
The Inlet New York one took place. Yeah.
So what are you hoping to see? And how close to the record have you gotten in the last few years?
Last year was our largest, and we had about 1650.
So we need a lot more.
Yeah. This year we're going for +1. Everyone who came last year, bring another.
There you go.
And we are actually ahead of last year. Despite the flooding and the struggles that have gone along with that, things are going great. We need people to keep signing up.
Now the key is there's more than one launch site. Let's start with the registration. I guess is that you would think that all you have to do is throw a boat in the water and go, but how does the registration work?
We just have people sign up online or come into our office to sign up. So what we have to do for our launch sites is get permits from the cities, permission to use them, and then we get a permit with the Coast Guard to close down the river. And then at each launch site, we have a team of volunteers that help people get launched and get going in the morning. And after the event, we also offer shuttle service back.
And if you don't have a canoe and if you don't have a kayak?
On our website at riveraction.org/Floatzilla, we have a list of outfitters that you can rent from.
Who do you see coming out? I mean, it's everyone. I don't want to say old people my age, all the way to the kids that come out, right?
Yeah. I had somebody asking if their 5-year-old could do it the other day.
Yeah.
And so, if they're in the boat and they feel comfortable with them, and that's okay. We just ask everybody to sign up.
Well, we were talking about the river's changed a lot in the last month and a half, of course. I mean, not only is the water level down, but the current's a little slower. Can you tell me a little bit about the people that may not know what it's like to kayak or canoe on the Mississippi River? Is it a greater challenge? Are you going against the current? I mean, what's the problem for people who might not have done this before?
No, everyone is going downriver. There are some launch points where you have to cross the river a little sooner than others. But for the most part, we schedule our launch points so that people could even just float down if they wanted to and still make it.
You make it as simple as possible, right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I mean, one of the best things I'm sure that you know about Floatzilla is just the camaraderie. I mean, how big of a deal is it? Because you see, like we said, 10 years, there's people that have been there each and every one of them.
Yeah. This is one of those chances where you get to take your kayak out with a big group of people, and we all get together for that big group picture at the end, and that's a pretty cool thing.
Now, 1,600 is not a small number. I mean, you may not have broken the record, but how important is it to get that mass of people to enjoy the river?
We think it's great. Another thing that it does is people that haven't been out on the Mississippi for whatever reason or another, they might come back out and paddle the river more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about what River Action is doing this year. I mean, tell me about what has happened since the floodwaters have gone down, because River Action always has a lot of events all throughout the summer, whether they're historic or educational or just fun and recreation, and the river levels and the speed of that river really stopped a lot of participation on the Mississippi for half this summer. Mm-hmm. I mean, did it leave any lasting damage as far as the river flooding is concerned?
Well, in Davenport, you still can't get on Credit Island right now. But for us, it kind of delayed some of our educational things. We had to reschedule some of our Channel Cat talks with our education series. Those are still going on, just later in the summer. And then it also delayed some of our environmental work that we did. We did a tree planting of 100 trees at Pigeon Creek Park in Bettendorf, and that was delayed for about a month. But they're doing good, and we're taking care of them.
Well, it just underlines the fact that the Mississippi River can just so easily restore itself, and so can the riverbanks and all that in some ways. I mean, they may be damaged, they may have picked up a lot of debris, but still, it's an amazing asset that flows right through the Quad Cities.
Yeah, I think our most important asset.
We're talking about Floatzilla, and I was talking about people who want to participate, but you're also looking for volunteers, anyone who can help out. How does somebody do that, and what are you looking for?
We need people to help out at launch sites and help out at Lake Potter. During the event, we have stuff like helping people launch, helping people unload their boats, watching the boats when people take the shuttles back to their cars. We need people both Friday and Saturday. Friday we have our packet pickup, and you can sign up on our website at riveraction.org, or you can call us at our office.
Yeah. Anybody, any help is well needed, right?
Yeah. Everyone's appreciated. You all get a shirt.
Hey, nice. And you could be part of history.
Yeah, that's right.
Noah Truesdell from River Action, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Organizer of this year's Floatzilla. And once again, head to River Action's website for more details on the launch sites and the day's activities. Plus, registration forms are at their site. Check it out also at floatzilla.org. WQPT is a commitment to the military families in the cities. We call it Embracing the Military, and it's Military Fun Night at Longview Park, that is, and Whitewater Junction Water Park next Saturday. Army Community Services has an afternoon picnic and early evening pool events planned for all military families. It starts at Longview Park's picnic area, ends at Whitewater Junction. It is free, but you're asked to make a reservation by contacting the ACS office in Building 110 at Arsenal Island. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
A proud supporter of this program, Riverbend Food Bank's vision is a hunger-free Iowa and Illinois.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory has been serving Quad City families since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.